Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're a new viewer, hi, my name is Michelle. Thank you so much for coming by to hang out with me today. So today's video is going to be a fun one. I wanted to go back through my Sephora purchases for the entire year of 2019. Super overwhelming. Apparently I was on a mission to own my own Sephora last year, and I wouldn't say that I was unsuccessful. So this is probably going to be a really long video. I'm going to try to speed through these products pretty quickly. So I've seen Lauren May Beauty do this video, and I don't know if she was like the first person to ever do it, but I do want to give her at least some credit because that's where I saw it first done. So I'm going to leave her channel listed down below. Please make sure you go check her out. She is also a fantastic creator here on YouTube. She does a lot of this type of video. She does like the Project Pan. She just has a different way of looking at makeup, and she's not so much on the consumerism side as she used to be. She's kind of done the whole no-buy thing. So go check her out, show her some love, tell her I sent you. But that's where I got this video idea from. I've also seen Karen Harris here on YouTube do this video, so I will link her down below as well. Go check her out, another fantastic creator here on YouTube. I just feel like it would be fun to go back through and see what I bought. Do I still use those products? Did I use them up? Did I not use them at all? Like, where are these products now? So if that sounds interesting to you, we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we do that, if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you enjoy beauty content, makeup videos, all the above, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave today. Also hit that notification bell, that way you don't miss my future uploads, and let's get started. Okay, so the very first thing that I bought in the year of 2019 from Sephora, now keep in mind, this is just from Sephora. This doesn't include Ulta, this doesn't include drugstores, this doesn't include indie brands, this is just Sephora. So the very first thing that I bought in the year of 2019 was in February, and it was the Moroccan Oil Treatment that you put in your hair. I just realized I can't get my camera to autofocus, so I'm not going to be holding it up close. I hope you guys can see it over here by my face. This stuff is a lifesaver for dry hair. If you're somebody that has very damaged hair or really dry, frizzy hair, this Moroccan Oil Treatment I am absolutely in love with. It makes my hair soft and shiny. I've been purchasing this over and over again for the past several years. This was more or less a repurchase, so, and I'm going to keep repurchasing it. I've probably bought, I don't even know how many little bottles since this purchase. This is a mini size. This is the same size that is in my Sephora basket that I'm looking at. And it's 0.85 fluid ounces. It's just a really small bottle, but this lasts me months. You really only need like a little tiny drop to get all the way through your hair. So I love this. I cannot recommend this product enough if you're somebody that struggles with dry, damaged hair. Give this a try and let me know how it works out for you, because I am in love with this stuff. In that same order, I also picked up the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Foundation Stick. This one it's an oddball one. So I don't know why I continue to pick up foundation sticks when I'm somebody that has very oily skin, and most foundation sticks just don't work well with my skin type. This one's strange. This one feels like water when you're applying it to your... I don't know how to explain this. It just feels wet. And the shade that I got is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so I don't use it all that often if I'm being honest. But I don't hate it. I've definitely tried worse foundation sticks. But am I excited that I bought it? No, because I don't get a whole lot of use out of it. I really would like to start using a lot of what's sitting in front of me right now more, because, like I said, this is going to be a little bit of an eye-opening experience for me. But the shade that I bought was Vanilla 2, and it's just a little bit too dark. So I'm thinking this is like the second shade in, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if the first shade would have matched or not, but this one was just a little bit too, like, orangey toned. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't hate it. It's not an awful product. It's just not something I reach for all the time because it's not very long wearing. All right, so the next thing that I bought in that order in February was the Cali Contour Palette from Smashbox. I'm glad I grabbed this, but I don't use it that much. I mean, it's because I have too much shit. Too much shit. And I just don't use a lot of what I have too much. So I do really like this product. It is a very good face palette. I mean, looking in here, you've got a contour shade, you've got a bronzer, you've got your highlight, a blush, you've got like a brightening shade. You've got everything that you would need in here for a decent face palette. So I really do like this product. I do use it occasionally. And I don't regret picking it up. I just, it's definitely not getting the love it deserves. Okay, so the very next day, I made another order. because I'm psycho. And I picked up the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. That's a mouthful. I actually did a video on this when I first got it. I will try to remember to link it in the cards above for you guys. This is just something that I wasn't exactly thrilled about. It just sinks in all of my fine lines and wrinkles, and a lot of people said when they first got it that you have to use like the smallest amount or it would emphasize everything. And I tried. I tried using like one pump like they say. There's no damn way. There's no way one pump covers my entire face. I don't know how people get this shit to work. What I do is I mix this in with other foundations and it seems to work better for me like that. I definitely cannot wear this one on its own. I kind of regret grabbing this since I'm not using it to its full potential. I mean, hell, if you look at the bottle, I think there's like barely any gone out of here. I've barely used any. Such a waste. This stuff is so expensive. And if I could go back and like unpurchase it, I totally would. It's just not, in my opinion, not worth it. In March of 2019, I bought the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. I don't know what like kickstarted my little ABH obsession because I bought like not every one after that, but a lot of the palettes around this time I was buying from ABH. It is such a beautiful palette, but it's just one of those color stories where I look at it and I'm like I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. And the shimmers are a little powdery. I don't know if you can, like, if the texture is translating on camera very well, but the shimmers are just kind of powdery. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting really spoiled by my indie shimmers. I think that's what's happening. And then everything else just pales in comparison. It's not that I dislike this palette. It's not that the quality is bad. It's not any of those things. It's just that I get really confused when looking at this color story and then I put it back. I don't use it. So I need to get some more use out of that palette. I do regret picking it up because, again, that's such a waste of money if you're not going to use something. So that was March 9th that I picked that up. March 11th, I grabbed the Kvd Locket Foundation. This was like the very first thing I ever bought from Kvd Beauty. I think I've used this like a handful of times, and normally when I'm using it, I'm mixing it in with other foundations. The tone of this one is just kind of yellow for my skin tone. Guys, I have the biggest problem trying to match my undertone. Sometimes I think I'm like pink undertoned. Sometimes I think I'm neutral. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm looking a little bit yeller. Like, I don't know, but this definitely wasn't it. So I can't wear it on its own. So I don't really have like a full opinion on how this foundation works by itself. It's a little trial size version of it, like a travel size. So I don't regret picking it up because I can still mix it in with other things. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't know how it is all by itself. So. I'm always dropping shit. I must have been on like some foundation kick during this time period because I bought a lot of foundation products. The next thing I bought in that same exact order was the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. So if you've seen my channel before, if you've watched a good bit of my videos, you'll know that I have oily skin. Why do I continue to pick up foundations that are shiny and glowy? I don't know. Because that's the kind of dumb shit I do. So I've used this a couple times. I more so use this as a mixer. Any of like the radiant foundations that I've purchased in the past, I use as mixers. I mix them in with more mattifying foundations and they help to really kind of level it out so they're not as matte, like as drying looking. So I don't really regret picking this up because I have mixed it in with stuff quite a bit. But I don't know how it is on its own because I can't really wear these types of foundations on their own. So, moving on. So the next thing that I picked up in that same order was the Jouer Bouquet D'Amour blush palette thingamajiggy. This was sad, okay? Because when I got it, the bottom shade was busted. So I never got to experience this shade down here. It was in shambles when I got it. But otherwise, it's a beautiful blush palette. It's got some really pretty colors in here, but I don't ever reach for it. Matter of fact, I don't reach for probably over half of the face palettes that I have, just because I always reach for my singles for whatever reason. I need to get some more use out of this. It is a beautiful palette. They're just like, I don't know, like, they're blushes, man. It's freaking pink powder. I don't know about this one up here in the corner. This one's a little sketchy. It's orange, like marigold colored. So I probably won't be using that one. But if I ever wanted to do, I don't know, looks on someone with a deeper skin tone, that could be pretty. So I'm definitely not, going to be getting rid of this anytime soon, but did I really need to buy this? No. No, I didn't. Okay, so about a week and a half later, I picked up the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick. I don't know, what made me buy this. It had to have been somebody using it, or maybe I saw a bunch of people using it, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, I don't even know anymore. But this is one that I don't regret buying. I don't really love foundation sticks, but if I had to pick one that I have in my collection that I use the most, this would be it. This one has really good coverage. It doesn't settle in all my fine lines and wrinkles as long as I set it and as long as I don't go overboard with it. So I really do enjoy this. I'm glad I picked it up, and I do still use this. Whenever I want a really quick, throw something on real quick and run out the door type of makeup look, this is the type of product I will reach for, because I don't want to have to break out the beauty blender. I can just use a brush really quick and buff it all over and then just kind of be done with it. So really do like this, and I'm glad I have it in my collection. So I waited a few more weeks before I purchased the next product, which was the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I don't have any more of those. I don't actually use those brow pencils anymore. I found a new true love. Nowadays, I use the Brow Gal brow pencil. It's like a sharpenable pencil, and ever since I started using that, I haven't turned back. I love the Brow Gal brow pencils. So it looks like I bought 2. I bought 4 and 4.5. I guess I was stocking up. So, yeah. Don't have those anymore, but, it's brow pencils. I used them up. Okay, next up in here, bought it the same time that I bought the brow pencils. This is the First Aid Beauty Pores Be Gone Matte Primer. This stuff's kind of weird. This stuff it smells like watermelon, and I don't know if it's supposed to. Does it have watermelon, extract or something in here? What's in here? I never even bothered to look at it. Okay, yes it does, it's got melon extract. Well, that would explain why it smells like watermelon. It's kind of odd, really. This stuff is okay. It's not my favorite primer, which is why it's still pretty full, and this was bought over a year ago. It just doesn't really... It says it gets rid of pores. It does mattify, slightly. I don't know. I really do want to start using this a little bit more because I don't think I hate it. I get stuck on certain products, especially in my everyday makeup routines. If I find a primer that I really like, it's glued to me and that's all I use. It does make my skin kind of blurred looking and smooth, so I do want to get some more use out of this. I don't totally regret that I grabbed this up. It's just not something that I fell in love with and then started using all the time. That's that. So in that same order, I picked up the Tarte Found Sealer. This was an interesting one, wasn't it? This one's kind of weird. So it's marketed as a foundation and concealer in one. I don't know if I'd agree with that. And honestly, it looks like I've used a lot more than I have. Look how much is missing out of the bottom of the bottle. I haven't used that much. There's no way. Because this stuff, I don't hate it, but it's thick. She thick. And it kind of settles everywhere. It's supposed to be more like a skincare heavy, foundation, I guess. I don't know. They got a lot going on in this little bottle. I need to get some more use out of it. It is a little bit too dark for my skin tone. I have such a bad habit of buying things online that I'm stuck with it. And I end up having to mix it with certain things. This is kind of one of those things that I regret buying. I don't even use this really as a mixer. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start pulling it back in rotation and just seeing what I think about it, because it's been so long since I've tried it. Maybe I really love it now. Who knows? I was on a serious foundation kick. So the next thing that I bought in that same order was the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. This stuff is cake city. It has amazing coverage. It'll cover anything. I'm somebody that has I have rosacea. I have hyperpigmentation all over my face from sitting out in the sun too long as a kid. And, acne, scarring, and spots. So this stuff really does cover up all of that, but it's super heavy. So I will use this more or less as a mixer, add in a foundation that's more sheer, something that is maybe a little bit glowy because this is very matte. So I don't really regret picking this up, but it's not something that I reach for in my everyday wear. So 2 weeks later in April, I picked up the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation. Now this foundation is one that I actually really like. It is very glowy, but it also isn't something that when I put it on, it doesn't feel like it wants to slip and slide everywhere. It just looks really beautiful and natural on the skin, but it has that nice, like, healthy glow to it. So I really am glad that I picked this up. I do mix it in with more mattifying foundations to help kind of balance them out. But I will also wear this on its own if I know that I'm not going to be wearing the foundation, like, for a full day or something, because I can't wear glowy foundations all day. So very glad I grabbed that one. So in May, I picked up the little travel size version of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Setting Powder in the shade Butter. This one's the full size. I did use up all of the sample size. I loved it so much that I bought the full size. So that tells you my thoughts on that product. Wonderful setting powder. The only thing I don't like about it is that whenever I'm using it, it goes straight up into my nose and into my lungs because it's so finely milled, but it does make my skin look airbrushed, and I love it. I swear by that powder. All right, the next thing that I bought in that order is the Lancome Advanced Genifique. This is not the bottle that I bought in that order. I just wanted to kind of show you what it looked like. This is a serum that's supposed to be good for aging skin. It's supposed to help with like fine lines and wrinkles and texture. And let me tell you, I've been using this serum probably off and on for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And it's the type of product where when you're using it, you're like, why do I spend all this money on this serum? It's not even doing anything. And then you stop using it, and then you start to realize, like when your skin starts to change, oh, like this stuff really does make a difference. It really does help with my texture. It really does help with some of the fine lines. It's not a miracle worker. This is not Botox in a bottle, so it's not going to help with everything. But it does help more than what other products that I've tried does. So again, this is something that I will keep repurchasing. I just recently bought this one, and I probably bought like 3 or 4 after the one that was in this order. So this is like holy grail status. Gotta have it. All right, the next thing that I bought, which was a day later than the serum. Like, what's wrong with me? The Luminous Silk Foundation from Giorgio Armani. I don't know what goes through my head when I'm picking up these glowy foundations, but you can tell that I used an awful lot of this one. Or maybe you can't tell. I don't know, but it's like all the way down to here. This is like their sample size version of it. It's not the big old bottle of it because I didn't know if I was going to like it, and at least I was smart enough to get the little mini. I have used a good bit of this, but I never really used it on its own. I always used it as a mixer. So I don't regret picking this up. I got a lot of use out of it. I will continue to use it till it's gone. It's just not something I can wear alone, but, you know, I'm not hating that I picked it up. So then I waited an entire month before I picked anything else up. And in the month of June, I grabbed the Bare Minerals bronzer in Faux Tan. This is a bronzer that I saw that Taylor, or, you know, now known as Taylor Wynn, I saw her talk about this non-stop, and she's very fair-skinned, a little bit more so than what I am. If a bronzer works for her skin tone, it's probably going to work for mine. So this is a bronzer that I really do like. It's just odd. It smells like spices. Like, it takes me back to when I was a kid. We used to live in these apartment buildings, and the people that lived under us used to cook a lot of ethnic foods. And that's what it smells like. When I smell this bronzer, that's what it reminds me of. It's really strange. I don't know what's in here that makes it smell like that. But anyway, I do really like this bronzer. I must be hungry if I'm thinking about foods. I do really like this bronzer. I think the tone of it is really nice on my skin tone, so I definitely don't regret grabbing this. Okay, in that same order in June, I picked up the Pretty Vulgar Cool AF Lava Water Foundation. I bought this because I saw, was it Tarte? I think it was Tarte. I saw her raving about this foundation, how it just felt cool on her skin, how it looked so beautiful and skin-like. Not only that, but look at the bottle on this. The bottle is so beautiful, and I really wanted this. I just wanted this to like set on my dresser or my vanity or whatever, and you know, it'd be pretty and me stare at it. Is it a good foundation? I've only tried it a couple times, I'm going to be totally honest with you, and I just remember it settling into every single crack and crevice on my face. We have to remember sometimes that some of these YouTubers that we watch, especially the bigger ones, they get a lot of work done to their faces. And I don't mean like surgery, I mean Botox specifically. I've never had Botox before, so every single, well, not right now because my hair is pulled back, so it kind of helps a little bit. That's like, this is free Botox here. But every little line and wrinkle that I have on my face gets accentuated by foundations like this. So I don't know why I do that when I watch people like Tati, who has the smoothest forehead you've ever seen. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably going to look good on me. No, No, it's not. It's going to settle in all my lines and wrinkles. So I don't hate this. Again, I've only tried it a couple times. I do need to get some more use out of it, but this is definitely one that's a little heavier and it's going to settle in all those lines. Could I have gone without it? Absolutely. And in all honesty, I probably should have taken it back and I just didn't. It's got a 3-star rating. 3 stars. They're not wrong. Okay, in that same order, I picked up the Makeup Forever Artist Nude Cream in 01 Uncovered. This is actually a lip product that I fell in love with. It looks so beautiful on the lips. See if I can maybe give it a swatch for you or something. It's so beautiful on the lips. It's very creamy and shiny, and it just looks glossy and wet, and it's very opaque. It reminds me of kind of like a very opaque gloss. I don't know. I really love these, and I still use it. So, wonderful product. Okay, so then an entire month later, I bought several items and I bought them in store. It's the only products that I've ever bought in store at a Sephora because I don't have a Sephora anywhere near me, and I was on a business trip. So you bet your ass when I was on that business trip, I Googled to see if there was a Sephora near me. I have problems. So, I picked up the Smashbox Photo Finish Super Light Primer. I had tried the regular Smashbox Photo Finish Primer and I hated it. It was too silicone based. It felt really greasy on my skin. My makeup didn't wear very well over top of it. So when I saw the super light version, I got excited and I grabbed the little like mini size version. I actually really enjoy this. I think there's like this much left in the bottom of the tube. So glad I picked this up. Definitely don't regret this one at all. The next thing that I picked up in that shopping trip was the Nars Radiant Longwear Foundation. I love this foundation. I mean, you can see it's splashed up on the sides, but it's down to about right here, which is honestly a feat given the size of my foundation collection. So this is one that I definitely mix in with more mattifying foundations, but it works so well for that. It does not break down my matte foundations. It doesn't make them like oily. I don't know. I love this. Glad I have it. I hate that I'm going to have to repurchase this because it's expensive, but it's just such a good foundation. I don't think this is one that I was like over the moon about wearing it alone, but as a mixer, yes ma'am. Yes indeed. Okay, so the next thing that I bought in that little shopping trip was the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm in the peach scent, or peach tube, whatever you want to call it. I think people on YouTube were like raving about this lip balm at the time. This lip balm is stupid expensive. It's a lip balm. And at the time I remember looking at the packaging, and I think I even asked the Sephora employee, like, is that stuff any good? Have you ever tried it? And she was like, oh, she had a different one. It wasn't this one. So I thought, oh, okay, whatever. And I grabbed this. I just barely ever use it. I have a different lip balm that I use more often, so it's not like it's gone bad or anything. I can still get some use out of it. It's just not a product that I just shouldn't have bought it. I don't know why I did. It was right there at the checkout. You know, they know how to get you. The next thing that I bought in that order, I will try to put a picture up on the screen. It's the Giorgio Don't Despair Repair Moisture Mask. It's a conditioning mask you put on in the shower. I absolutely love that hair mask. I use it all the time. I've repurchased it numerous times. On top of my Moroccan oil, that is the other product that I can like credit to having soft hair, having manageable hair. When my hair was really dry and damaged from me bleaching the shit out of it all the time, that moisture mask on top of the Moroccan oil is what saved my hair from literally just breaking off into chunks all the time. So, love that stuff, and I will continue to repurchase it. And then last but not least, in that shopping trip, I picked up a second one of the Makeup Forever Artist Nude Creams. This one is in the shade 2 Flesh. This one's just a little bit more lighter pink than the other one. So you can see that, I don't know why I thought I needed both. There's like barely a shade jump, but you can really tell when you put them on the lips. This one's just way more, it's just much lighter than the other one. My favorite one out of the two would have been the first one that I showed you though. This has got more of that like pinky brown type of shade. Still love them, still use them. Okay, so at the end of July, so that those products were purchased on July 10th. On July 30th, I bought the Huda Beauty Nude palette. This is an eyeshadow palette that so many people have raved about, and it's honestly one that I really enjoy too. This is one that I've used quite a bit. It might not look like it. I don't know if you guys can see like the stab marks and the shadows. Given how large my collection is, the fact that you can tell I used it at all, it means something. So I do really like it. The quality of the shadows in this palette is really good. If I'm looking for a mauve, like nude, easy eye look, I can reach into this and I know I can create something really pretty. So glad I have it. The second product that I picked up in that order was the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. And this was purchased right as it released. I was really excited to try it, mainly for my YouTube channel. A lot of stuff that I buy is because I want to try it on my channel for you guys. So I don't hate that I picked this up. If I can remember, I'll link the video above where I tried this on. I think I did like a full day wear test with it. It's not awful. It just doesn't wear as long as some of my other foundations because this is not a very matte foundation at all. It's more like skin-like. It says up to 24-hour wear on it. Not if you got oily skin. I would say up to 4 hours wear. I do like mixing it. It's more of a lightweight foundation and, you know, I don't regret that I have it, so. I also picked up the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. Now, this one is very light. It's very light. I use this one for brightening because it's so light. This is like almost a white concealer. Actually, I used it today for the center of my forehead. That's where that brightness is coming from. That and me applying too much bronzer to my forehead. So I don't hate that I have this. I am going to continue using it and, you know, it just lives in my little concealer drawer with the other concealers. And then I also picked up, in that order, the Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. This was a new product at the time as well, and this is almost gone. This is such a good primer for somebody with an oily skin type. So if you struggle with getting your makeup to last any type of length because you have really oily skin, this is your best friend. Or you could try the Pores No More primer from Dr. Brandt. That is one of my personal favorites, but this would be a close second. This keeps my skin matte a lot longer than if I were to use any other type of primer. So love the shit out of this, and I do have a backup of this. Okay, so then I waited a little bit. I waited like 4 weeks before I purchased the next, actually 5 weeks. So proud of myself. I picked up the Buxom Wanderlust blush. This one is in the shade Dolly. Love this blush. This blush is so beautiful. It just has that really beautiful, like, mauve-y goodness to it. It's got a sheen, and it's pretty. It applies effortlessly. And I've picked up 2 more in this line. That's how much I love it. In the same order as that blush, I picked up the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I was so excited when I received this. I couldn't wait to use it. I did a video using it, and I was so in love with it. And then I think I've used it like 2 or 3 times since, and I just never reached for this. That's what it looks like on the inside here. So it's got like a little covering over the cream products up here. So the 2 up top are cream. And then you've got like a highlighter, and then I don't know what the situation is here. It feels like a highlighter, like a blush topper, I guess. I just don't ever use it. Such a shame. I need to get some more use out of this because this was not a cheap product. I did not get it on sale or anything like that. I paid full price for it. And it's beautiful. I have problems. I must have realized around this time that I needed to pump the brakes or something because I waited 4 months. How is that possible? So the stuff I just showed you was purchased August 19th. The next order was placed October 15th. No, not 4 months. 4 months. It's getting late. I'm not stupid, I promise. 2 months later. I need to go to bed. So 2 months later, I picked up the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. I grabbed this because it was a new product, and I love foundations. I love testing foundations. It's one of my favorite, like, makeup products to try, especially because I have oily skin. I guess in my mind, I'm like, if I can find the perfect foundation for oily skin, like, that's it. Like, I can retire. I can give up on my makeup dreams. I don't know. But I do like this one. It's just one of those ones that, like, settles into my lines and stuff, so I have to keep tapping it out. But I don't hate it. It does wear pretty nicely on my skin. It does not wear like all day long or anything crazy, but it's not my least favorite foundation. So I am glad that I have it, and I do mix it in with other ones. All right, in that same order, I picked up the Huda Beauty Medium Nude palette. I love this. I love this palette. It's so beautiful. It's just like your everyday, easy, neutral palette, but with like a pop of pink. So I really like it for that. It's got a duochrome over in this corner that's really beautiful. It shifts from like orange to pink to green. It's just a really pretty neutral palette. It's so easy to use and work with. The quality's great. I love that I have this. Okay, also in that order, this was like a doozy of an order. I picked up the Airbrush Flawless Foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. I really, really enjoy this foundation. It's down to about right here, little, you know, over halfway gone. I bought this less than a year ago, and I had like 80 foundations at this time. So the fact that this is halfway gone is saying a lot. I like this because it is full coverage. It doesn't look like overly heavy on my skin as long as I'm careful with how I apply it. And it doesn't look overly matte, but it wears long. So I really do enjoy this. So glad that I have it. I really hope I don't have to repurchase it anytime soon because I'm just trying to get through what I have, but I do really like this foundation. All right, and then a couple weeks later, I made another purchase. This was October 30th. I grabbed, well, the writing's off of this now. This is the Jouer Lip Balm, like their enhancing lip balm. I've been buying these for the past couple years now, and I swear by them. They really do help to enhance your lips. They help to make them fuller. Like, they're not going to make it look like you have lip injections, let's be real. But I used to be a smoker, and my top lip was really small from doing, like, doing that number. Yeah, I've got, like, lipstick and I've got lip liner on right now, so of course they look bigger now. But even when I don't have it on, my lips are still bigger than they were. And I swear by this stuff, I really do. The full name of it is the Essential Lip Enhancer Balm. If you haven't tried it and you have thinner lips, I love it. Plus, it makes them really glossy looking and juicy looking. Okay, and then on November 4th, I picked up the Giorgio Don't Despair Repair Honey Moisture Deep Conditioning Mask. Giorgio, why'd you have to break my heart and make this limited edition? This one is even better than the other one. Like, so much better because of the way it smells. And it's something about the honey in it. It makes my hair even that much softer. They should have made this a permanent product because this stuff here, let me tell you what. Oh, it still smells. Oh, there's still some in there. Oh, I might have like one more use in there. It is so good. If they release this again Christmas time, like this coming Christmas, I'm going to buy several of them so I have them until the following Christmas. No joke. This stuff's thebomb.com. Okay, and then like 5 days later on November 9th, I picked up the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. I think I grabbed this because I had a sample size of this, but I really like the fact that this is so lightweight, yet it has coverage to it. So I thought, oh, need to buy the full-size version then. So I did, and I barely use it. But I do like it though, so it's not that I really regret it. I just bought so many foundations. I keep forgetting about what I have, so I still do want to use this, and I will use it. I can mix it in with heavier foundations. This will level those out. Okay, in that same order is when I picked up that full-size version of the Fenty Beauty setting powder. So again, remember I had the little version earlier in the year, used it all, bought this one, love it. Okay, the next thing that I bought in that order was the Milk Makeup Baked Bronzer, and that's this. It's a little mini size version of it. I hate this little component. It's stuck. It won't roll up. So I don't know why it won't roll up, but it makes me feel like I'm not going to get a whole lot of use out of this. I just don't ever reach for this. And I feel like the consistency of it is not exactly oily skin friendly. It's not awful, don't get me wrong. I will keep using it, but it's not my absolute favorite cream bronzer. It also shows on here on December 6th where I bought like a Lancome like box set. It came with one of the Advanced Genifique, which is the stuff I showed you earlier. This stuff here, the serum. So I don't know if I'd ran out or it was like a really good deal. No, it was a good deal. It was $62 for like an entire set. So that's why I bought that. Don't have any of that stuff anymore. Used it all up. Good stuff. And then on December 11th, I picked up the Hourglass Ambient Luminous Bronze Light Bronzer. I bought this because a girlfriend that I work with, Elaine, if you happen to be watching this, she buys the full-size bronzers because she's crazy like I am and loves them. She swears by them. And I have one of these bronzers in one of my like lighting palettes from Hourglass. But it's not this one. This one pulls a little bit too orange for my liking. The one I have in my palette is more of like a red-toned bronzer, and I love those. They look so nice on my skin. Matter of fact, it's what I'm wearing right now today. I just think it's so flattering on my skin tone. So I probably should have returned this and tried, one of the other ones because this isn't the one I was looking for. They don't sell the one that I love as a single. I like breaking hearts. It's just not something that I always reach for because it's not the tone that I was looking for. So that was everything that I bought in the year of 2019 at Sephora. So if you are a makeup enthusiast like me, have you ever thought about going back through and seeing what your purchases were for last year and seeing if it's stuff that you actually use? Well, I guess I should put it this way. If you have a large makeup collection, because if you don't, then I can guarantee you what you bought at Sephora last year is probably stuff that you really, really love and stuff that you continue to use on a daily basis. Not everybody is crazy like me and buys stuff and then doesn't use it. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It helps my channel out so much, and I'm very grateful when you guys take the time to do that. If you've made it this far and you're not already subscribed to my channel and you are enjoying my content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave today. While you're at it, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.